A lot of people cannot tell the difference between difficult and detrimental, and they can't do it before it comes to bite them in the ass. So difficult can be something that's actually growthful, that causes you to improve yourself in the long term. But detrimental scales you back. You now need to spend time recovering. You can see this in fitness. It's like, oh, I want to work out in such a way that it's difficult, that it causes some growth, that it causes my cardio to go up or my muscles to grow, but I don't want to make it detrimental. I don't want to make it to the point where I have to do physical therapy for 4 months, which I've had to experience. Thank you very much to the stupid personal trainers at my old gym. But it applies to everything else too. It can apply to your relationships, to your job, to your geography. It's like, here's a job that's difficult, but maybe it's difficult in the long term. Maybe it's not just, hey, I had a bad Monday, and we have bad days. I should be able to handle this. It's also, hey, I had a bad Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday. And last week was pretty terrible too. There's no hope here because the sequence of events is a -1, a -1, a -1. It's not just that bad days add up. It's that bad days add up until they multiply, until it becomes exponential, until the misery reaches critical mass. And then it's like, endure, spike. Time to torch everything. Time to have a mental breakdown. When people were studying actual shell shock, not just PTSD, but like, oh, the sky is coming down. There's artillery shells that are destroying us. And it's like, people didn't really understand that new type of warfare. And it's like, oh, we need to cycle people out of the front line because people literally cannot endure sustained bombardment over any long-term period. We need to send them out and then bring them back in for rest. And it's like, right, that's a thing. That's a new thing that people didn't think of until recently. Yeah, it's like, yeah, kind of easy to see this in war, and especially when the sky is literally falling, but a little bit more difficult to see that when it comes to the existential burden of day-to-day life. When I work with people in bad relationships, whether parent-child, romantic partners, whatever, it's like, take this person, and I want an inventory. How often do you remember this person doing some subtle dig at you in the last 24 hours? It's like, maybe once, maybe twice. Now, give me every time they did some subtle dig at you in the last 7 days. Take your time. It's like, let's add up as much as we can remember. And then we expand to a month. And it's like, oh, this is a lot. Maybe your mentality says, oh, it's just busting my balls, or it's just us joshing, or casting shade, or some crap like that. But it's like, well, when you look at the inventory, it's like, let me just cut you with a small knife again, and again, and again, and again. It's like, well, no wonder you're bleeding out. Death by 1,000 cuts. It's just clearly right there. It's like, are you aware that this is not just what's going on in the present, it's what's going on in the past, and what might come up in the future. Awareness of how much misery, how much hurt is being inflicted moment to moment. And then you have the alignment part, where it's like, the simple example is the workaholic who's in the C-suite, who's fine working 16-hour days, never seeing his wife and kids. And then you have the people under him who are like, no, I want a personal life. In fact, I need it. I am not going to work as hard as you are. And then the conflict between that. If you are being driven by some freaking Gary Vaynerchuk who's like, nope, you need to sleep less. I hate when influencers say that. It's like, you need to sleep less, wake up earlier. It's like, no, I'm not sacrificing my sleep just to make someone else rich. That misalignment. It's like, you can endure some difficulty there, maybe during crunch time, maybe during a death march, but to do that as the expected amount of work for what? Year, 10 years, 20 years, until you die, until you retire, it's misaligned and it's going to kill you. It's not just difficult to you specifically, It's detrimental to you specifically. And the workaholics don't understand this. The workaholics are like, oh, I love work. This is the thing that energizes me. This is the thing that adds meaning to my life. And it's like, right, you don't need to understand this. Just know that it doesn't. It doesn't add meaning to my life. Now, to make this even more complicated, I hate influencers. I hate bro influencers, at least, who are like, you know what, you gotta do something that sucks every day. It's like, well, maybe I don't. Maybe, you know, if I were to go the David Goggins route, just as an example, it's like, oh, you gotta do things that are hard. And it's like, well, yeah, true. And I like that your book has some people on it who are like, oh, I lost 100 pounds or 500 pounds or whatever. But it's like, you're not actually seeing the people who have destroyed themselves. You're not actually seeing the people who have taken your advice, has been misaligned, and now they're in recovery mode because of trying to emulate you. I'm not saying it's necessarily your fault. I'm just saying that it's like this one-size-fit-all crap really needs to be assessed. We need to be very, very aware of what this might be doing to us, not only now, but in the long term. Yeah, maybe Gary Vaynerchuk's message is just to the workaholics. Maybe Jocko's message is just to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu SEAL community. That's it. I mean, it's like, okay, you have 1 million listeners, but maybe the actual emulation has to be a very, very small subset. Maybe to everyone else, it really is poison. Just keep that in mind. If you have difficulty discerning the differences here, maybe it is time to see someone like me.